green light. Go, go, go.
Alrighty, hello and welcome everybody to Fargone Racing GT Challenge Season 21. We are here and we are underway for round 3, a super sprint here at Misano. A very short qualifying session has kicked off and it is now time to get racing action well and underway. So, all of the usuals here in the grid tonight, and I do apologise if you are confused as to why it has all the Sensational TV stuff. It's not being broadcasted on Sensational channel. That is because there's a slight miscommunication, and I didn't have the stream key. I thought I had the stream key, and so I wasn't able to start the stream on the Sensational channel. However, we all, well, Steve-O and I put our heads together and we came up with the idea of just streaming it on the Fargone Racing channel like I used to do when I first started broadcasting back in Season 18 and before I was with Sensational. And then, because it has all this Sensational logos on it, I can pop it back on our channel later as a recording that's going to take up half my computer storage. So, in the meantime, we are here for qualifying. Our laps are about to finish, and it is going to be, knowing the lap times here at Misano would probably be important for what I was about to say. I think lap times are a little bit longer here at Misano. It should be a 1 or 2 lap dash here, so we're going to stay with Stephen Reese, who won last time out, and he also won last night in the Inter-Club Series as well. So he's on an absolute hot runner form, and now he's going to see if he can make it back-to-back nights that he's won in here. So Inter-Club on Assetto Corsa, and now he's going to go here, Guts for Glory in the Bentley in Italy at Misano, and now he's giving it a go here. So heading through turn 1 and 2, a very quick chicane. Now just hold it right, then on the brakes, pull the car up, use all the track on the left-hand side. And you might notice we have liveries this week. I was organised, believe it or not, for once in my life. And I got all the liveries downloaded and ready to go. And Steve-O had a very nice run there through the first sector. So he's going to continue to push on into this one. So now here we go. He's giving it a good push as I'm just making sure the stream is actually running. Yeah, it is running. Okay, cool. We are all good. I just had to make sure that it was actually all up and all good. Now it's time to pull the good old fact sheet up about Misano as well, because I'm kind of lost. But anyway, so Griffin, who gave Steve-O a run for his money last week, sits 100th off pole. Maddie a 33.375. So now final runs begin. Steve-O, where's he going to go? P3 at the moment. Let's now go over to the famous Zoomies Mustang as Maddie giving it a go, currently sitting on provisional pole position. So she's making her way through the first sector. And then now she makes her way onto the straight. This is where the Mustang can stretch its legs, gain a bit of time, and really attack now into the next long left-hander. It feels like it goes on for an absolute eternity. And then now just hold it a little bit of a straight, heading into now a right-hander. And then just power it out, and now this is where the Mustang really gets to stretch its legs. Valentino Rossi actually won here in GT World Challenge just the other day. That was really impressive to see from him. And now Maddie is looking for pole position against Griffin, against Reese. The Bentley duo you might call them. And now here, the timer hits 0. So everybody on a lap at the moment can finish their lap and then no more. That's the beauty of the Super Sprint format, as well as the fact that they've got a limited set of tyres. So it's about conserving while pushing. Can Maddie improve? She's 2/10 up. She will improve to a 33.1. What about Stephen Reese in the Bentley? He's sitting up as he crosses the line. Will it be enough to match Maddie? No, it's P2 for Steve Reese, and this feels season 18-esque. Would you believe it? So what about Parker before I make the final call? No, he's back in the pit lane. So Maddie here in the Super Sprint gets pole position for race number 1. Steve Reese comes home in P2. Griffin comes home in P3. Longy gets P4 in qualifying. So those are your front 2 rows. Nobody else circulating around, I believe. Potentially Broads might be, actually. Yes, he is here. The last car to cross the line. He started very much behind the punch of everybody else. Now he's 3.3 seconds off a pole. What can he do about that one as he makes his way towards the line? Stays P12. So your final qualifying order for race 1 is Maddie taking pole position in the Zoomies Ford Mustang. So iconic, that livery. Then it is Steve-O from Griffin, from Longy, then Parker, Perkins, Racer, MJ is your P8. Then Bradley, Hoggy, Old Man Racer, Broads, Demon Boost, Tobasire, Lee, Grundor, and Eda Nick is your final order for qualifying. And then now we are going to be heading towards race number 1. So the way a Super Sprint works is you have a 5-minute qualifying, then you have a 15-minute race. Well, race 1's 15 minutes. Then you have a quick cool down. Then you have another 5-minute quali. Then you go into an 18-minute race. And then you have a 5-minute cool down, 5-minute qualifying, and a 25-minute race. I do believe that is different to how I'm used to seeing the Super Sprint format. So a little bit of a shake-up here in the Super Sprint format by the looks of it, as the races get longer and longer and longer as it goes on. And that's really interesting because another part of the Super Sprint format that is so iconic is obviously you're on a fixed set of tyres. You have 2 sets of tyres to use over the course of the entire race night, and that makes it a big game of strategy as well. I think a lot of drivers use they use the first 2 races, they use their second set of tyres, and for the first 2 qualies, they use their first set of tyres. And then in race 3, they use their quali tyres from race 1 and race 2 because they have less wear. And then that's how they do it. But that's just from memory. I could be wrong. Anyway, here with the free camera with a liveried grid here in Misano. Let's take a look at what we have. All of our challenges now actually in all their glory. So the Zoomies Mustang, there it is. Then the very nice Jack Daniels liveried number 1 Bentley. And you have Griffin with the Bentley livery. Then you have Longy. That is a beautiful car. And then the Lexus has a black and orange. A very nice livery there for Parker. Then, Man City. Then you have a Valentino Rossi inspired 46 Ford Mustang. Then you have, that is a very nice looking Lamborghini, if I do say so myself. Then you have a nice little blue stripy McLaren 720S, and then you have the Lexus with the Japanese livery. Then you have the Ferrari. That is actually very nice, and that's how you do a HP logo, ladies and gentlemen. Talking to you, Ferrari F1 team. That's how you do it properly. It doesn't ruin the livery. You have a white and blue Ferrari. Then you have the 666 with flames all over it. Demon Boost in the Ford Mustang. Very nice looking Winfield Racing Ford Mustang. And then there is the rest of it. So now let's get cracking here in Misano, in Italy. Maddie will start the 1 corner formation lap. So it's the iconic front row It's Maddie and Stephen Reese. Name a better pair of sparring partners in the sim racing world. I bet you can't do it because these two are side by side all the time. Then your second row's Griffin and Longy. So, the green flags ready to fly, the green lights ready to illuminate, and we are underway for racing action. Steve-O already getting off to a good start. He's on the outside and he's going to sail the long way around on Maddie, who cuts the curb very drastically there. Now she's coming back around the outside of Steve-O. Now she has the inside for the next part as they make their way into the slow left-hander. She has the inside line. That is place held there for Maddie on lap 1 versus Steve-O in the Bentley. So cracking stuff there between the two of them, tussling side by side for the race lead here in race number 1. Griffin as well hanging on in the background. No pressure from Longy to be seen, who's actually more under pressure from Parker in the Lexus Racer as well, trying to put pressure on, but he's more under pressure. Parker under pressure from Racer, who's putting pressure on to Parker. Then Hoggy in the Lexus, a bit of no man's land. That's side by side there for some of these cars. Back here it was Bradley and MJ who were wheel to wheel there briefly. Bradley and Broad, sorry, who were wheel to wheel there briefly. Then Old Man Racer as well involved in the Mercedes. He's side by side, or he was side by side with Old Man Racer in the Ferrari. He was side by side with Ed and Nick, I believe. The leaderboard's finally fixing itself. I can keep up now. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry about all of the losing who's who, but I'm not used to liveries yet. We'll get there. We have 3 races here. Hopefully the next lap one's alright. Car 48 is going slow. That is Dave Ross. He spun around. Grab a replay. Oh, I can't see exactly what happened, but you can get the gist. He slid off the track and now he'll be back into it. But here in race 1, I think that is all over Red Rover for him. Yep, there he goes again. Much like last round out. But anyway, now back up the front. Maddie versus Steve-O will continue on as they make their way through the final sector, through the double right-handers here. Curva del Carro, if I'm not mistaken. And now they head on to the straight. Well, that wasn't Curva del Carro. Laps go too fast here at Misano is what I've decided it was. It's because my map's upside down. It was Curva del Rio that they were going down. Now they head down the very long back straight and the run towards Curvione, which is the little right-hand kink in the straight. And then you have a smaller part of the straight. And then you get ready for the braking zone. A big right-hand kink in. Then you got to get the car straight, brake, tip it through, and then hold it out. This is now where they head through Curva del Carro, which is the corner I was talking about before. And now into the penultimate corner. Now the final corner they go. Steve-O struggling to stay with Maddie by the looks of it. Actually, she's doing very well for herself at this point as Griffin gets a drive-through already here in this Super Sprint format. In less than 5 minutes, Griffin has picked up a track limits drive-through. Really unfortunate there. Misano brutal with the track limits as per ever, and really causing a problem there for Griffin. By the looks of it, he wasn't able to keep his car on the grey stuff. So not ideal as he's now making his way through the left-hander onto the straight, as they all are. And he's trying to put the pressure on the Steve, but with a drive-through, there is absolutely no point overall. As now it looks like the Lee Perkins in the Man City liveried BMW. And bring back the sensational. He actually DM'd me about the race going, yeah, sorry about that one. I didn't know you guys were going to be around. Fair call. But now we are back around, broadcasting every race, despite the fact that this is on the Fargone YouTube channel. It will be uploaded to Sensational at a later date. I do apologise for that one. Miscommunication at its finest. With Zach interstate doing work stuff, he's not able to look as keen-eyed as he usually is. And Munro doesn't seem to be online. And yeah, so stream key wasn't going to happen. But yeah, bring back the sensational livery is what I say. As Dave Ross off again in the background, you can see him there in the gravel. Lee still under pressure here. Hoggy in the Lex has a lot of straight line speed, so we're going to see that in full effect now as he's trying to close in on Lee Perkins. In towards turn 1 and 2 they go. He should be better just a bit through the corners, but Hoggy absolutely putting the pressure on at the moment. Griffin didn't come in and serve his drive-through penalty just yet. So Lee under a lot of pressure. Hoggy trying to put the pressure on later on the brakes. He's got a wider line as well. He's got a good cut back, and now they head out of Curva Tremonto and now onto the straight they go. And this is where the Lexus really has an advantage, and he's using all the road at his disposal. He pulled out a lot wider, showing Lee Perkins that he's there in the mirrors, but I don't think Perkins needs a reminder. These two still going at it at the moment. Obviously, these races very short, so it is absolutely all about commitment, all about going for moves. So at the moment, oh, is that an identical time? It is an identical time. Wow, Matty and Steve-O. There's the flute. I've got the flu at the moment for anybody wondering as well, so I might cough a bit tonight. Matty and Steve-O setting identical times. I didn't know that was a thing. Like, as in, I knew you could set identical times, but I didn't know it showed up as 2 purple laps. That is really cool. Look at the top left-hand side of your screen if you can't see what I'm on about. Matty and Steve Reese both had the purple tag next to their names. They've both set a 1 minute 33.215 in this race. So blistering consistency between the two of them. They're leaps and bounds ahead of the field, and this feels very Season 18-esque. Matty in the Mustang, Steve-O in the Bentley, and they're absolutely going at it, fighting for the win here in a super sprint format. Matty leading the way. This is absolutely fantastic stuff, and Steve-O isn't going to go down without a fight, and I know this isn't his first time wrestling the Bentley around Misano. In fact, the first time I ever saw him in the Bentley was at Misano in a little league called ERD. And so, yeah, I know, and obviously everybody knows Steve-O's got what it takes, but I know that he can get this thing around here quite quickly, and in fact, that night, I do believe he beat Matty, so let's see if he can repeat history here. Still 7 minutes to go. He's still trying to close in here to the Ford Mustang in front of him, but it is easier said than done. As let's go on board. No, that's a terrible one. Wow, what an onboard Bentley. Oh. Let's go on board here with Steve-O as he's chasing down Matty. Hoggy's still unable to get past Lee Perkins as well, if you were wondering. Or as Matty's made a mistake, they're very wide, a big slide as well. Steve-O should have the better run on the straight. He gets a big cut on the inside there, really utilising all of the track available. He's closed into Matty by about 0.2 of a second. Now into the hairpin they go. A long left-hander. Curva Persia, or Persa. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that again. Italians, don't murder me, please. As now they head into the right-hand entry into the hairpin. It's a very tricky corner because you've got to go right pretty quickly and then slam the brakes for a hairpin sort of radius corner. And then you really got to set up your exit to get down the straight. So Steve-O still closing in here, 6 minutes to go in this Super Sprint Race 1. And he's right up behind Matty, he's right there, closing in. But nothing doing for him just yet. Go back off board. And Matty making all of the engine noises in the world there with that Mustang. Absolutely sensational stuff coming out of the exhaust of that Ford Mustang. As all Steve-O's deep there. Steve-O very wide. He's going to lose time for that one. Matty's going to get a mega exit compared to him. That's not a mistake that you want to be making when you're trying to close in. He was getting closer as well, and he's just diminished all the work that he's done on the previous lap to close in right up behind Maddie, who made a few mistakes herself, and now the mistakes creep in for Steve-O, and that's really uncommon. It's not every day that you see an alien make a mistake. Grip.exe must have crashed temporarily. He would have had to re-inject it into his system to close back up to Maddie. So now 5 minutes remaining. The timer just ticking down and ticking down and ticking down. And now let's look to another battle. Lee Perkins versus Hoggy into the hairpin. Lee holding on, living to fight another day. MJ and Eden Nick are there as well, though. The Mercedes and Lamborghini right here, as they're going to be side by side here. The Man City liveried BMW trying to defend from the Lexus as Hoggy tries the old switcheroo there. Gets a good exit off of the corner. Now he's going to stretch the legs of the Lexus in a straight line. He's going to pull to the right-hand side as they head into the kink. He's going to commit to it down the inside. Lee Perkins around the outside as they head into the next right-hander. Surely he has to back out of it. He does back out of it. Hoggy gets the place. Ross gets out of the way. Meanwhile, MJ nearly ends his race with a big snap there, with Eden Nick sitting in behind him. Now it's going to be the Lexus' turn to defend for his dear life, as Lee will be getting out of the way soon. As into the final corner, MJ showing the nose on Lee Perkins to stop Eden Nick from attacking himself, as blue flags are waving there for the cars in front of them. As meanwhile, it looks like Lee might have gone for it again, but I think he was just showing the nose as they get past the Aston Martin. And now they're really going for it over the rear wing here of the BMW. You can see MJ getting ever closer, but on the rear wing of the V10 Lamborghini, what a noise it makes. But the V8 up behind him really trying to change the way this is going to go. So a four-way fight here in the midfield. This is cracking stuff, but I think the Hoggy is getting away from Lee Perkins. But now here comes MJ in the slipstream of the BMW. He's looking on the inside. He's not quite close enough. Dave Ross as well, not close enough to MJ. They are all taking very dissimilar lines to one another by the looks of it. As MJ, oh, he just takes it out wider. He carries a smoother run through the whole corner. And I think that that's really playing into his hand, especially, I think, in the next two races when the tyre wear is going to be a factor. It could be really important. There's 2.5 minutes to go in this one. The top two separated by 4 tenths. They're not overtaking distance. And MJ still sitting right up behind BMW, and Eden Nick as well, stuck behind MJ. So these three really going at it. Hoggy, meanwhile, booking it to a Jet 2 holiday and flying away from these three for the P6 position. 2 minutes to go here in this one, so we're approaching the final stanza of race number 1. Then we'll have a cool down, then race number 2, or quali 2, then race 2. As meanwhile, Eden Nick, the long way round of MJ. It's a risky place to go for a move. He gets forced out wide. MJ has a superior line, holds on, lives to fight another day. That sacrifices them to Lee Perkins as well. So this battle not over just yet, though. Here comes Eden Nick with the better straight line speed in the Mercedes AMG. And now he's going to go late on the brakes, down the inside. MJ on the outside. He's still trying to fight this one back. He's going to get early on the throttle, use all the traction control to keep him in a straight line. But nonetheless, the Mercedes is through. Eden Nick getting the position here, as now we're going to move up to the race leaders. Maddie has a 5/10 lead over Steve-O as they're heading towards the final lap of this race. They're heading through the final sector at the moment, so here in race 1, it's going to come down to this. Maddie versus Steve-O. Like the good times, like a few seasons ago, this is what it comes down to now. Mustang versus Bentley as they head on to the final lap here of race number 1. I'm not sure that Steve-O is close enough to match the straight line speed of that Ford Mustang. So cracking stuff all around at the moment between these two. They've shown they have superior pace. The only other car that looks on their level is Griffin. But the problem for Griffin is he got a drive-through penalty and decided to holst into the pits and not serve it. So, yeah, not ideal for him here, but the counter ticking towards 0 Maddie still holding on as they head down the first straight. I don't think Steve-O's close enough. I think it'll be Maddie's win here in race number 1. As now they head out of this portion of the middle sector, and then they're heading through the final corner of the middle sector and now onto the straight. This is Steve-O's last opportunity. He's going to need a cracking exit if he wants to put the screws on to Maddie, but I think Maddie should have this one in her back pocket as she heads through into the final sector, and Maddie has driven a sensational drive. She got pole position, and she never seated once. She nearly seated it on lap 1, turn 1, but then she fought back. She knew that it's very hard to overtake here at Misano, and now she's defended well. She's kept behind a hunting Steve-O. He seems to be the unstoppable man at the moment, but she proves he is stoppable. And Maddie rounds the final corner in Misano, and she's going to take victory here in race number 1. Steve-O comes in just behind. Fantastic stuff to end race 1. Longy is going to get P3, a podium for Longy in race 1. Fantastic stuff. Parker will come home in P4. The Mustang will come home in P5. A Speed Racer Hoggy in the other Lexus will come home for P6. Meanwhile, Lee Perkins having a drag race as Ida Nick towards the line, but Ida had to take to the grass. Perkins will hold on. Ida Nick comes home in P8. MJ is going to get P9. Rhodes is going to get P10. Demon Boost is going to get P11 here. Toba Sire under a little bit of pressure here from Tim Bradley, but he comes out of the final corner. He's going to get P12 over Bradley. Then Jason Lee come home in P14. Dave Ross as well will come home as Grundle got disqualified somehow. And Griffin retired in the pits with a drive-through penalty. So Jason Lee rounding the final corner now in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Claims P14 now. Here comes Dave Ross through the final sector. But yeah, really good stuff. A good four-way fight there in the mid-pack as well, between Hoggy, Perkins, Ida Nick, and MJ. And that went down to the wire. Maddie, good job to hold on. And yeah, that was really good stuff all round. As now it's just Ross coming towards the line, and then we should be all good to move on to the cool down before qualifying 2. So Dave Ross coming up towards the line now. He'll come home P15. That is a wrap there on race number 1. Not sure why it's not ticked over yet, actually. I think it could be because Griffin technically hasn't finished the race. Yeah, I think it is because of that. Yeah, good stuff from Maddie there to pick up the win in race number 1, and she'll continue to impress over the whole night, I'm sure. She always does well in the super sprints, as actually the tied fastest lap stayed there. So you can see the 2 purples on the top left-hand side, which is really cool, actually. As I said, I didn't know that was a thing. 2 people could share the purple, but yeah, Maddie and Steve Reese with identical fastest laps of the 1 minute 33.215, and they come home 1-2 in the race as well. Yeah, really good stuff from everyone there in race 1. The cooldown should start in a moment, but at the moment I think the Aston Martin is just flapping around the track like nobody's business. Lee, as he is waiting. There we go. There's the tick over. So your final race 1 results: Maddie, Steve-O, Longy is your podium, and Parker, Racer, Hoggy, Perkins, Nick, MJ, Broads, Demon Boost, Tobasai, Bradley, Lee, Ross, Old Man Racer, Griffin, and Grundle. And Griffin will have something to prove heading into the next qualifying, and especially the race. Won't be looking to pick up another drive-through in that one. As to everyone tuning in, thank you very much. I know it's not on Sensational directly, but it is Sensational. It'll be uploaded there later. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying. Obviously not the usual viewership that that we get when we broadcast it through Sensational, but we have to make do with what we've got, and people that matter are still in the chat, I'm sure. I'm actually not sure if my chat's working in OBS. People could be talking to me for all I know. And I would absolutely have no clue. As there we go. We head into the cool down, so we'll just get the free cam up and then head to the top of the pit lane like we usually do. And there it is. So for now, that is going to be right back as we enjoy the cool down and we head towards qualifying 2.
In 6 years. So now she's the third year, try to carry a lot of speed. The position of the car is very important for the next two corners, the left and right corners that follows turn one, obviously. So you can gain a lot of time by positioning the car in the right position. We go down here to turn four, shifting down to the second gear. Obviously, this situation, struggling a lot for grip, was very bad yesterday, and in the dark, obviously also quite tricky to find the right references. We go through this turn six, which is very important. You use basically everything you have in terms of racetrack to carry as much speed as possible. Focus on turn seven, down here, left hand side corner, second gear. Was the same approach. Actually, you try to leave maximum you can from the braking and then as early as possible the power. Then you have a long right hand other side, right hand side corner, which actually puts you on the longest straight of this racetrack here. So you go through the gears up to sixth gear, through this very fast right thing, which is tricky in the wet, but easy flat and dry, and approaching the last sector, another right corner where you actually brake and steer, and so it's actually quite tricky to find a good balance through this part. Another slow speed right corner before you approach the last two medium speed left corners on this Santa Monica racetrack. The last one again, very important here again to carry a lot of speed and to get the exit right. And that's what happened with me here yesterday at the wet practice. Really look forward to this weekend and the whole season. Hope you enjoy it with us. Hope you enjoy the lap with me and have fun watching us live stream. Hello everybody, welcome to the first round of the 2016 Fargone GT Series here at Misano. It's going to be my home race. We have been back in the Fargone Sprint Series this year for the Cross Racing team. And I will be driving the number 63, number 23 once again. Really happy about it. This year we have a huge grid again. We have 39 cars on the grid for this weekend. This is absolutely incredible. Very, very talented drivers out there. So very, very competitive series. Let's hope to have a good result as we had last year. We recently went on the podium, so hopefully trying to go again for a strong result this weekend. Yesterday we had a quick practice session with
As welcome back to the Fargone racing action. Now we are here for qualifying 2 in Misano. So Matty got pole and won in race 1. Who's going to get pole here in race 2? Griffin, the first one out of the gate here in this qualifying session. And yeah, he'll be looking for a little bit of a revenge charge, a revenge drive after getting a drive-through in race number 1 that cost him a podium and the chance at a P2 or maybe even higher. He had good pace and yeah, he was close to pole as well. But yeah, I think Stevie versus Matty could be the story of tonight. Griffin will get involved there at some point in some way as well. But yeah, at the moment it is just Griffin really far out. In fact, he's pretty much half the sector ahead of anybody else. He got out the gate very quickly here in qualifying 2. Currently got the puppy eating my hand. Ooh. No. No. Sorry, the dog's trying to eat me. Oh my god. She's a nightmare. But Griffin is going to be the first one to go on a quali lap here in qualifying 2 in the Misano World Circuit. I literally cannot get my dog off my hand. Okay, anyway. Heading into the final corner now to start a flying lap in qualifying 2. Here goes Griffin, heading into turn 1. It's a right-left chicane. It tightens up on you. So you go, oh, you can carry so much speed here through the first right, then you have to really get on the brakes for the left-hander, then open it up, cut the inside, and then open up the next right-hander. It's a very short run into a hairpin. Get it tightened up, then take it out to the outside, then take it out through the right again, get the cut, and then cut as much off the left-hand side as possible to maximize your run onto the straight and make your way down a medium-sized straight and then braking into a hairpin. Very tricky braking zone, this one, because it's a flowing hairpin. It's not just a dead simple hairpin. It's up a hill, it's cambered, it flows, you carry a lot of speed, but you also can't carry too much, otherwise you fly off. Then through this right-hander, braking in a straight line, tip it through, and now onto the big straight. This straight is absolutely huge and has a corner in the middle of it. So it's quite the interesting occasion as Griffin now heading through the fast right-hander. Steve-O in the background as well. We'll go with him for the second lap of qualifying. As now Griffin heading through the final sector. These are critical corners around the lap. It's all about nailing it. As now into the penultimate corner. Cut off as much as the left as you dare. Now set up the final corner. Hopefully that's not an invalidation there for Griffin, but it looked very close. And Griffin now running the final corner. What is the banker going to be here for Justin Griffin? It was invalid, but it was a 33-2. What about Steve-O? We're going to stay with him for his second lap in this qualifying session as he hunts pole. He got P2 last time. Now it's a 33-9. So he's going to have to give it a good go here in his second run in qualifying and his final lap in qualifying. What about Matty? She's yet to cross the line. Matty takes provisional pole with a 33.3. 6/10 clear of Steve-O. Fantastic stuff from her. Now Steve-O's really under the gun. He's already a 10th up though. Heading through this first sequence of corners. Matty calls that enough. She goes, that is all I have and I want to save tyres. That is the beauty of the Super Sprint. You can see stuff like that in a qualifying session. And now Steve-O here into the middle sector, into the hairpin. He absolutely goes. And he's trying to take pole position, but it's a hard shout. It's a hard ask. He needs to find another 4/10. He already sits 2/10 up. He didn't get pole in race one either. Now, what about for race 2? Can he take pole, or will it be a front row with himself and Matty once again? And where does Griffin come into this as well? He's still on a qualifying lap. So Steve-O with work to do. He's only 2/10 up. Heading into this final part of the lap, it's going to take big commitment, a lot of guts, and he messes up. He goes straight on. That's going to be him done. Now, what about Griffin? Further down. He hasn't set a lap yet. Griffin, where is he? Can't find him on the timing tower. Heading through into turn 1, and I think he invalidated again. It was a 33.1. It would have been enough for pole. But he's invalidated again. But actually, I think he timed his run perfectly. I think he has one more. I think that he got out so early that he's going to get a third lap in this qualifying. So he has one more chance not to invalidate, and he's absolutely flying. He's 6/10 up on a 33.1 delta. I don't think that's accurate whatsoever for the record, but if that is sensational from Griffin, who's absolutely flying. He's looked on for pole for 2 laps now. His banker, his opening run in this qualifying session would have been enough, but he's getting blocked here by Lee Perkins. He's pushing him through the exit. He's not going to be happy at all. He's got to hope he games it back with a slipstream. He got checked up so badly by the BMW, and now he's down the inside of the kink. I wonder what he's doing. Lee Perkins compromising Griffin here. Griffin's banker run would have been enough for pole, but a lap racing is not going to be. He punts Perkins out of the way. That's his Q2 done, and Matty is going to take pole, and what a disaster for Justin Griffin. Looked on for pole all 3 laps, and none of them come to fruition. So in race number 2, it'll be Matty on Stevo on the front row again. Stevo with a much slower time though, but Matty and Stevo on the front row nonetheless. Parker gets P3, Bradley gets P4, Racer gets P5, Longy gets P6, Edenick gets P7, Hoggy gets P8, MJ gets P9, Perkins gets P10, Old Man Racer gets P11, Tova Sire gets P12 as the dog's still eating my hand. Get off my hand. Sorry, she hurts. She has sharp teeth. Jesus Christ. Grundle gets 13th. Griffin gets 14th. She's now barking at me. Ah! Ah, you silly... Boo! No! No! Sorry. This stupid dog, man. I've got bloody bite marks all over my hand. Damn. Anyway, heading into race 2. No, don't chew my cat. Come here. Come here. I've picked her up so she can't bite me. Anyway, moving into race 2 now. So it's the same front row, a very similar second row to race number 1. This race 3 minutes longer than race number 1, so a couple of factors come into it. Tyre wear, different tyre selection is now going to be interesting to keep an eye out as my dog's staring at the screen. She wants the racing to get underway. We all want to get the racing underway. Who doesn't want to get the racing underway? But yeah, Stevo will be looking to do what he couldn't do in race 1 and get the lead on lap 1 and try and hold it. But Maddie really strong on the starts by the looks of it, and she's getting away quite well. So a minute 20 till we get the formation corner underway. The dog wants off. No, don't slip onto the back of the chair. Just let me put you down. Oh my god, this dog. Okay. No, don't chew on the cable. You'll die. Sorry, this is professional broadcasting if I've ever seen it. I'm having this one, says Stevo. Wow, okay, confidence. He's backing himself. I backed him last night, to be fair, and he proved me right. So, really... No! Oi! Boo! Fuck off. Sorry, she's chewing on my wheel cable. I'm trying to sell that, Sim Magic. Don't chew on the cable, you toss. Oh, I am going to need to check that cable. Maybe she's chewed on that more than once. God damn it. Oh, now she's about to chew on my hand. Chew on this. You have a chew toy for a reason. Unbelievable. Tash is asleep on the couch, FYI. I was like, where's Tash? I was like, where's my friend? Okay. Anyway. Love to hear it. Love the inside information. But anyway, now it is about time to go racing. So Maddie will take away the formation corner once again. Thankfully for me, the dog has left the room, so she's not going to be chewing on my hand. Here we go. Maddie versus Stevo on the front row. Once again, Parker and Bradley hold down your second row. So, for the second time tonight, a 3. The green flags are ready to fly. The green lights are ready to illuminate here in Fargone Racing. Round 3, and we are underway. Stevo gets off to a good start. It's almost a carbon repeat, but Maddie's further alongside, but Stevo's sailing the long way round. Will he go more aggressive on the brakes than he did in race 1? No, he doesn't. Maddie holds the inside again, but Stevo's not backing out this time. He's not going down without a fight, but he's sentenced to the outside. Once again, they slot back in. These two going at it. Longy trying it now the long way around on Speed Racer. So Ferrari versus Ford here. Where have I seen this before as they make their way now through this tricky, complex section of corners, and now they head onto the straight. Stevo's backed himself. He said, I've got this one in the bag. I'm not sure about that one. Maddie leading this one. So she held onto the lead. She got pole position. Can she do it again? Stevo sat behind her the entirety of race 1. Maybe you'll get the elbows out a bit more later, but for now, it's looking like a rinse and repeat scenario. Justin Griffin will be trying to find his way through this field very, very quickly. At the moment, he wasn't able to get a time on the board that was valid, but when it was a time on the board that showed to me, it was enough for pole. So he clearly has the guts to be here, clearly has the pace to be here, and now he's on the inside of Old Man Racer, getting that one done. Fantastic stuff from Justin Griffin as he goes off the track. He's going to be looking not to get another drive-through, as Dave Ross has already got one here on lap number 1. So not an ideal start for some, but currently Griffin getting the moves done, and Maddie trying to hold on to this race lead. And maybe Stevo was confident because he's using a fresh set of tyres. Who knows? To be quite frank, there's so many variables here in the Super Sprint format. That is absolutely why I love it. And now Maddie, at the moment, still holding the lead. Meanwhile, for P3, Parker and Bradley are going at it. The McLaren, oh no! That's a big moment. Bradley spears the back of the Lexus. And that is absolutely not ideal. That is not what you want to be doing. Bradley should cede that position. I think he is ceding that position. Wow, yeah, he does cede it. He knew he made a mistake. That changes this race because now it's Speed Racer versus Longy for the P3 place. Big moment there here in round number 3. And, yeah, not ideal whatsoever. There's Griffin, though, trying to make a move on Perkins. It is a carbon copy of qualifying, and it ended in a contact and spin for Perkins in quali. Now they're going to go at it again. This time, Griffin a little bit further alongside. He's trying to get it done. Perkins not done yet, but he doesn't let it end in contact this time. Griffin gets through past Perkins, who goes very wide of that corner every single lap, using all of the track available. Now next up for Griffin to get past is going to be the Lexus of Hoggy. As Stevo still just sitting 6/10 back from Maddie. Feels very race 1S Speed Racer, has 4/10 to Longy behind as we'll go off the rear wing of the Ford Mustang at this very moment in time. And we know the Ford has the straight line speed, so you shouldn't have to worry too much, but these two take very different lines through this twisty first sector. And now they head into the second sector of the circuit, where the Mustang gets to stretch its legs but then loses time in the hairpin. And yeah, look at that. That is absolutely diabolical. There's supposed to be a restrictor on that thing. I've been going, oh yeah, Mustang's fine, it's restricted, it's not OP. Meanwhile, look at that. Pulling away from a Ferrari very easily in a straight line. FIA are going to have to investigate a removed restrictor plate. I'll tell you what, I'll give you the hot tip. That restrictor plate not doing a bee's whisker of help for anybody else trying to race a Mustang. And currently, Maddie's putting the screws down and pulling away from Stevo. Stevo has the pace for P2. Not much further by the looks of it. He can't seem to topple Maddie even after backing himself. So maybe he's had a few of the Jack Daniels that he's got on the side of his car. He's got all the branding. maybe he's had a few Jack Daniels in his system going into the races. Who knows? But yeah, Steve, after dominating last time out, dominating Interclub, well, not really dominating Interclub, but doing very impressively in Interclub and winning the race. And then I said I was going to have to deal with his dominance at the end of the broadcast last night. I said, oh, I have to deal with this guy again tomorrow, and he's going to win in Fargone. Well, not right now at the moment. There's still a 25-minute race to go after this one, but here in race 1 and race 2, he's not going to take it. Matty putting on a really dominant display. It feels like season 18 Matty again here in Fargone Racing, so this is fantastic to see. And Speed Race is still under pressure from Longy at the moment. He had 12.5 minutes to go in race number 2. This race obviously a few minutes longer than race 1, and then race 2 is going to be race 3 is going to be a behemoth compared to the first two, and it's going to take 25 minutes, which isn't too much in the grand scheme of things, but when you've raced 2 very quick sprints, it definitely feels a lot longer. It drags on a lot. As Griffin has cleared the Lexus of Hoggy, is now on the back of Nick, Longy, and Speed Racer, so that's going to be interesting. Trying to be on a charge for the podium, and Griffin still has the time to do it, so after not setting a lap in quali, already up at the 6th position, and then now on the hot heels of this P3 fight. So this is going to be really close stuff here, as Longy all over the back of Speed Racer at the moment, 4/10 behind as they cross the line. This is the most exciting bit of action on the circuit, actually. There's a big train going on here. Look here. Sorry, I'm yawning all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if it's coming through on the mic. I really, I do avoid yawning on the stream. So I hope it doesn't come through, but it's just, Fargone's on at that time of night where I'm starting to get tired, so yeah, it's a bit tricky. But, yeah, I love watching all these guys go at it. And, yeah, I'm so happy to be here for the whole season. I know I said that last time, but I feel like I'm going to reiterate that for at least the next few rounds. As, oh, that's Alexis up the inside. And that would be Parker going down the inside of Broads. Did he get it done? No, he's still side by side with Broads, however, as they make their way up the hill and now into the right-hander. Trying to get it done. But, oh, that's a very far cut on the inside there from Broads, and a snap to go with it as well. Parker gets the cut back. That's Broads tumbling down the order as contact with the McLaren as well of Bradley. So really not optimal. Bradley obviously trying to make amends for what happened earlier on in this race. Now they're side by side. Bradley sweeps through, takes the place, and the Ferrari of Broads is going to have to live to fight another day after such a big mistake. Meanwhile, let's go back up. Griffin. Oh, wait, no. It was telling me Griffin was right up behind Nick, but now that gap has extended heaps, so I think Griffin's made a mistake, and in fact that's the battle we're pretty much just looking at. But yeah, Lee Perkins, MJ, and Grundle going at it. Then you have Demon Boost here side by side with Bradley, who's trying to make up places. Demon Boost holding onto it for the moment, but I think Bradley is going to make short work of Demon Boost. Yeah, Bradley launches it up the inside, and he's going to sweep through. Still wheel to wheel, though. The McLaren did make a mistake there earlier, being too late on the brakes, but this time he just makes a beautiful move. Fantastic stuff from Tim Bradley. Take a bow as MJ really close to going for it there on Hoggy, and now here comes Grundle. Right there, trying to make a move. We'll go on board with the V8 Beast as he's late on the brakes for halfway through this race, as you might have just heard there over like the in-game PA thing. And the Mustang now stretching its legs in a straight line. Look at that, even with the slipstream just closing in so much. Go, go, go. Now he backs off for the braking zone. Grundle being the patient one here in this little fight. Trying to make it work. Oh no. Who was that? Car 18. Hold on. Oh, it was Broads. Let's go. Let's get a replay. That's Old Man Racer behind Broads. Broads had already dropped back a few places after a mistake at one of the hairpins. What does he do? Through the fast kink towards the braking zone. Get it crossed up. Very late on the brakes. Old Man Racer also late on the brakes. Oh no, Broads just runs into the back of the Ford Mustang, a Demon boost. Yeah, just poor judgment. I know that Demon slowed up a bit much, but Broads broke way too late, and instead of getting out of the way or trying to dodge, drove into the back of the 666. Yeah, that is not ideal, as now Toba Sai's under pressure from the Lexus. It's the only car that can remotely keep up with Godzilla in a straight line. Here comes Parker up the inside of Toba Sai. They go. Toba Sai is wide. Both of these cars do not turn at all, but they have a lot of horsepower. And now they're going to be battling. Into the hairpin they go. Here comes Tim Bradley as well, looking to get a move done in this little fight. This is fantastic stuff. Bradley looking for a switchback. Can't get it done. Toba Sai, though, back on the aggressive move. Here we go, in the slipstream. He's just been overtaken. Now he's trying to pressure the Lexus as they head down into the next complex of corners. Into the third sector they go. Into the braking zone. Can he fight it back? Toba Sai runs deep. There goes Tim Bradley up the inside. Fantastic stuff there from Bradley, who clears the Nissan. Now he's got to catch back up to Parker in the Lexus to try and get that move done. But easier said than done when push comes to shove. It's Maddie 2.5 seconds out the front at the moment. As I think there's a little bit of battle going on for P3. It's a three-way fight. Racer versus Longy versus Nick. So this is going to be interesting stuff here between the three of them. Speed Racer trying to hold on for an unlikely podium here in Misano. Longy looking to add to a long list of podium finishes inside GT Challenge, and Eda Nick as well is right there. So this is going to be really enthralling stuff here between these three with 6 minutes to go. And Speed Racer under immense amounts of pressure from two cars. Well, the dog has returned. The dog is not showing my hand. I'm trying to chew a cable. Come up here. If you want to chew cables, you can come sit on my lap. Come here. There we go. Sorry for the disruptions in the commentary, ladies and gentlemen. I think that Zach would have scolded me by now if this was actually broadcast for Simsation. And Speed Racer heading into the final corner. Has Longy sitting in behind Eda Nick as well, waiting to pounce at any time now. And Justin Griffin as well has closed back up behind Hoggy, but that gap 0.8 of a second at the moment. There's 5 minutes remaining here in race number 2, so not too much longer. It's a qualifying session to go here in the Supersprint format. That is all they've got, so about 3 laps, 2 or 3 laps in this session to go. So they've got to hold on now. Reese has lost 4 seconds to Maddie. That's tyre saving if I've ever seen it. I know that Maddie's quick. We all know Steve-O, and we know that when push comes to shove, he's not going to get up by pretty much anybody in the entire world. So I would hazard I would hazard a guess and say that he's backed off to save tyres for race number 3, and then he's just going to come through and snatch one in the 25 minutes. Because, see, I told you so. Oh, I didn't even see in the chat, Steve-O's one. I'm not having this one, by the way, later on. So at some point down the straight. Love that. I love the correction from Steve-O. The chat and Fargone. It's always a good comedy show. When you need a bit of a laugh. The dog biting my hand again. He's going to kill me. Oh, yeah. Stop it. Stop biting my hand, please. Please. No. No. This puppy isn't suffering, guys. You can probably hear her through my mic. Relax. Relax. Take a chill pill, you asshole. This dog. This dog. This is why you don't open the bloody door to the commentary box. I opened the door because that definitely came through on the mic. What do you want from me? Oh my god. She's chilling up. Anyway, let's see if I can focus on the racing action while my hand's being bitten off. Boo! Stop it! I'm sorry to anyone watching. This is probably, it's either entertainment to the maximum degree, or you're gonna watch it back and go, what is he on? Why is he commentating? Get off our screen. But ow! Oh my god. 2 minutes to go here in race number 2, and Steve-O 5.6 seconds behind Maddie. So this race is tucked away. Maddie on an absolute Steve-O-esque performance against Steve-O himself. So really, season 18, Maddie is back and well in form here in Italy as Speed Racer looking likely to hold on to his podium, but Longy really putting the pressure on as there's a minute 40 to go. And if you're wondering why my voice is going really low then really loud, it's because when the dog chews on my hand. Stop it. Stop. There's a minute and a half left to go in the race. Just wait until the 5-minute cooldown. And when that 5-minute cooldown happens, I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to place you on Dad's bed so you can go annoy him. Because I'm not dealing with you. Anyway, here are the leaders of the track. Is this the last lap of the race? Oh, the dog's gone. Okay. Sorry, I just looked behind me and it's like, oh, she's gone. So Maddie heading through the final sector. So next lap will be the last lap of this race. So Racer has one more lap to hold on from Longy, and he should be home free for a podium. But Longy wants it, and he wants it bad. He's showing the nose at every possible opportunity he's given here. 40 seconds left on the clock. We're heading towards the final lap of this race, and in fact Steve-O's in sight, so this is going to be really close stuff. I wonder what has happened to Steve-O's pace. He dropped off the face of the earth. Either he hasn't put enough fuel in the car, or he's absolutely killed his tires. One of the two, but at the moment Racer really struggling to hold on. Longy with all of the pressure put on, but the problem is he's got to deal with a Mustang straight line speed to try and get the podium as car 13's at a moment. Yellow flags from the 216 car as well. A couple of cars having problems. Old Man Racer and James Parker being the two of them, but we're not going to get a replay here. We're going to stay on the edge of our seats here as the white flag drops. This is definitely the last lap. The timer has hit 0. As where is Maddie on the track? Heading onto the straight. So we'll stay with this battle just a little bit longer. As Speed Racer trying his best to hold on. Longy looking for an overtake. Every possible opportunity. He goes left, right, and center. But now, for the moment, we're going to have to go back to Maddie. She's making her way through the final sector now. And much like race 1, she's driven away from the field. And in what a dominant display against one of the quickest drivers in the region, Stephen Reese. But we already knew that Maddie on a good day could definitely put him under pressure. But she's dominated here in race 2. She won race 1. She got pole in race 2 and she wins race 2. Here in Misano, Stephen Reese should hold on for P2, but Speed Racer is going to hold on for a podium here in Misano. Fantastic stuff from the black and neon 46 Valentino Rossi inspired Mustang at Misano. The 46 number must be synonymous with this circuit in MotoGP and GT racing from the other week when Valentino Rossi claimed a win. Now Speed Racer gets a podium with the same number. Fantastic stuff. Longy is going to get P4. Eden Nick is going to get P5. Hoggy is going to get P6. Justin Griffin on a reasonable recovery drive and the fastest lap of the race as well. P7, Grundle comes home in P8. Lee Perkins is going to get P9. Tim Bradley going to come home for 10th. 11th for Tobasaya. 12th for Demon Boost. 13th for Broads. 14th for Old Man. James Parker, 15th. MJ is going to come home in 16th. He's still running the final corner. He'll be the last car to cross the line. And, yeah, a couple of drivers had some moments in this one, but that is race 2 completed, ladies and gentlemen. So your final order is Maddie from Reese, from Racer, Longy, Edenick, Hoggy, Griffin, Grundor, Perkins, Bradley, Tobasaya, Demon Boost, Broads, Old Man Racer, MJ, Parker, Ross, Lee is your final finishing order, as now we will head into another 5-minute cooldown before we get to qualifying 3 and race number 3. That's a long one, 25 minutes. Don't want to go anywhere here because you're in Fargone Racing with Sensational TV. There's still a lot of racing left to be had, and I'll tell you what, Maddie might have dominated 1 and 2. Could be a tyre thing though. Steve-O is probably going to try and get the big one, try and win the 25-minute, but you never know. Maddie looking absolutely electric at the moment, heading into race number 3. So, here at Sensational TV. Whoa. Here at Sensational TV, I will be right back for qualifying 3 and race 3. Enjoy the cooldown.
Happy about it. This year we have a huge grid again. We have 39 cars on the grid for this weekend, which is absolutely incredible. Very talented drivers out there, so very competitive series. We have been part of it. Let's hope to have a good result as we had last year. We finished twice on the podium, so hopefully trying to go again for a strong result this weekend. Yesterday we had a practice session which was wet, so today
as we are back here for qualifying 3. And it is now qualifying time for race number 3 in Fargone Racing GT Challenge. And once again, Griffin, the first one out on the track, but we're going to stay with Maddie this time. She is out for qualifying 3. So we'll watch her first lap, then we'll watch most of Steve-O's second lap. And that should be qualifying over. As I am going to take a notch down. Not that I've been super electric with commentaries, and I'm really tired, and I've also got the flu. If that wasn't apparent, it was coughing and probably sniffling, or maybe even my voice. I don't know how different it sounds today. But yeah, my throat is on the my throat's on the way out, so I don't have much to give. I'll do my best. But yeah, Maddie definitely in the hunt for pole. Once again, she's trying to go 3 for 3, but it's not often that we see it. Every time we've had a Supersprint, I remember my first one, there was a McLaren who I haven't seen race in a very, very long time. I can't remember his name actually, but he was having a good ding-dong battle with Maddie. But he won the first 2. I think it was, I can't remember his name. But yeah, he was having a good scrap with Maddie and wasn't able to hold on, and lost out in the last one. And then every Super Sprint I've seen since, we've not seen all 3 be won by the same driver. There's been 2 out of 3 heaps of times, never 3 out of 3, and a lot of that comes down to the fact that there's limited sets of tyres that you have to your availability. And yeah, that's going to be a tricky one for Maddie. I don't know what she's done tyre-wise. Steve-O backed off a lot. He might have much better tyres for the next one. Who knows? But now, here we go. Maddie starting a flying lap here of the Misano World Circuit. And now into turn 1. A right-left. Let's actually go on board here with the Ford Mustang. Through the right. Check it up now. For the left. Get all the cuts in the world that you can possibly ask for. The TC working away there with the V8 underneath the Ford Mustang. Maddie doing it a good send there on the entry now. Through the right. Take it out wide. Through the right again. And then cut it back across. Cut all the inside curb. And then take it out to the outside. And now just run it down the straight, stretch the Mustang's legs in a straight line, touch the brakes, get it dabbed down, the inside curb, and then take it out to the outside. The car should naturally drift out there with the camber of the circuit. And then through the right, brake in a straight line, after get the car pointed, head through the hairpin, and then gun it now, heading down the straight. So Steve-O and Justin should be the first car, and Old Man Race should be the first cars to get a lap on the board. You know, Justin failed to get a lap on the board in qualifying 2 after setting 2 times that would have been good enough for pole position. Steve-O as well was 6/10 off in the last qualifying. That leads me to believe he had all the tyres. So Griffin 34-1. The tyres or the lap are not good. So now Steve-O 34-0, also quite far off what we've seen. What about Maddie? What does Maddie have on the table here? She makes her way towards the line. Will it be provisional pole here for Maddie? Yes, it will be. A 33.1 longie as well, ahead of Steve-O as he makes his way now through the first sector in the Bentley. He's already 3/10 up, so he's either held back in the first one to go for it in the second, or there's not too much time to give, and he's just backed off a little bit in certain parts where he'll find time. But yeah, behind Longy at the moment, and a 33.1 would be the quickest qualifying session of the night, if I'm not mistaken, and that is only the first lap. And Steve-O currently sitting 4/10 up, needs another basically 6/10 of a second to get past Maddie, who's also on a lap and still improving. She's a 10th up on her lap, so Steve-O's going to need to find 1.1 now, as Maddie has made a mistake. She's back in the pit lane. So now all eyes are on Steve-O. He's hunting for pole. You can't discount Griffin either, but Griffin isn't up on his time. So Steve-O giving it a really good go now. 3/10 up, 4/10 up as he heads through the final sector. He's had traffic there from Old Man Racer. Not ideal in a qualifying lap. Is there much more to give here, or will it be P2 again? And another time to settle for second for Stephen Reese. He makes his way now towards the final corner. Into the final corner now. Power it out. That's a big time gain for Steve-O as he makes his way up towards the line. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not. And by nearly 0.2 of a second, Matty once again knocks out pole position in Fargone Racing GT Challenge. So poles are 3 for 3 for Matty, and she led every lap of the first race, every lap of the second race, got pole in all three. Now, if she holds the lead, stays out of Steve-O, leads every lap of race 3, it's the Grand Slam. So that is going to be absolutely incredible. But Steve-O a lot closer in qualifying this time, so I think he might have better tyres strapped to his car. So it's all going to be about how this plays out in the long run heading into the 25-minute race. But yeah, your pole sitter, Matty, absolutely electric stuff in all three qualifyings and in race 1 and 2. Can she carry that momentum into 3? We will see. But your final quality order is Matty, Steve-O, Longy, Parker, Griffin, Hoggy, Nick, MJ, Racer, Lee, Demon Boost, Tobasai, Bradley, Old Man Racer, Lee, Broads, Brundor, and Dave Ross. So now we're heading towards the final race of the night here, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be it. Can Matty go 3 for 3? I don't think we've ever seen before. Maybe Steve-O once. She's put on an absolute dominant display tonight in the Ford Mustang here in Italy at Misano. All she's got to do now is bring it home. There we go. Session ticks over. And now it is time to wait for 2 minutes for the final race to get underway. Steve-O, closer in quali. He's going to have one last go at it. One last attempt at trying to get a race win here tonight. He won last night. He won last week in GT Challenge. Now he's looking to get a win in a 25-minute race after failing to in race 1 and race 2. I do apologize for the energyless sort of commentary that you've had tonight. Yeah, as I said to the people who are watching in quali, but I think the concurrent viewers won. I've got the flu, so my throat's given up. My nose has been getting more blocked as the night's going on, and so I don't have much. I don't have much left. But we'll see how it all goes here in race 3. So yeah, a minute 20. Still, we are underway. And so your grid order is Matty, Stephen Reese on your first row, Longy from Parker on row 2, Griffin again, not a great qualifying P5 from Hoggy for the third row, Anita, Nick and MJ on the 4th row. Then the 5th row, Speed Racer and Lee Perkins. Then you have Demon Boost and Toba Sire. Then you have Bradley and Old Man Racer on that row of the grid. Then Lee, Broads, Brundor, and Dave Ross round out your starting grid here. The final race of the night. It's the big one. 25 minutes long. And we are about to get underway. You can hear the engines of all these GT cars firing up and ready to go. Matty will be fired up and ready to go here for race 3, trying to get the third win of 3 in the night. Steve-O looking to steal any sort of points away and continue a very good winning record here in his sim racing career. As here we are. So it's Steve-O alongside Matty for the final time tonight. For the third time tonight, they're alongside each other as the green flags are ready to fly. The green lights are ready to illuminate And we are underway once again. Steve-O getting off to a good start, inching ahead of Matty, but it's rinse and repeat. Once again, Steve-O is going to have the outside for the next part. No, actually, this time he grips up and he's going to have the outside again. But Matty not as alongside this time as they have been on previous efforts. Steve-O having it the long way round. He's more hours out than he has been on the previous race starts. He's not given up yet. Matty has the inside line for that one, though. He still has the nose on the inside. Matty just holds the lead. She has to take off to the outside of the circuit. Now here comes Longy as well. He's trying it on Stephen Reese as they head now into the hairpin. He's trying to cause all sorts of problems. He's on the inside. Here goes Longy for P2 and he's going to get the place. Matty gets a huge buffer from that as well. Steve-O not done though on the inside. He tried to play it more aggressively and it's backfired for him. There's contact there as well. Steve-O under immense pressure. Here comes Justin Griffin in the other Bentley. It's going to be neck and neck. It's 3 wide into the kink. Longy backs out of it. Steve-O loses the place to Griffin and now he's just falling down. It looks so promising. On the initial race start, I was like, oh, here we go. Here's the opportunity for the lead and the opportunity for a better look at a win here in race 3. But instead, it all falls apart. He falls to P3. Longy was putting the pressure on. Dave Ross slow again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't tell, was the last my throat had to offer. Oh, no. I told you it wasn't far away from going. And there it is. That last bit of lap 1 action, it's gone. Yeah, it's done. It's toast. And, that is my last bit of yelling for the next week. So, GG's. So, it's going to be, there we go, sip of water later. It's not great, but it's better than nothing. As there's a battle going on in the background, it's nearly 3 wide. Parker's on the inside of Eda Nick, and now Hoggy and the other Lexus trying to get involved on the inside of the Mercedes, trying to get past. He's drag racing the Mercedes in a straight line. Here we go. It is Parker out the front of this one. Hoggy trying to put the pressure down the inside of Eda Nick, and he's going to not quite get alongside and get the place. It's definitely not the last we've seen of those two, as here comes the podium sitter from race 2 as well. Speed Racer on the back of that one, as that is Lee Perkins and MJ. Side by side, Lambo and BMW, the same base colour of the Man City blue. Disgusting. That's very wide there from Lee Perkins. Here comes MJ on the outside. That'll become the inside for the second part if he's still there into T1 and T2. MJ on the outside, brakes later, gets the door shut. Fantastic stuff as Reese currently looking for his P2 back in this one after a shocking start. And I think he'll want it sooner rather than later because Matty's just getting further away. So if he doesn't get a move done soon, he's not going to be able to get a race win here tonight. But it's only been 4 minutes and it's a 25-minute race. So he's got a while to keep his head down. But yeah, definitely not ideal at the end of the day. Because now, once he does get past Griffin, if he does get past Griffin, he then has to chase a gap which would burn his tyres, and then could be too little too late. But the track is quite cool, very well in qualifying. I'm not sure what tyres are the allocation Matty's on, and what Steve-O's on, and what Justin's on. Who knows? I could be completely wrong with my predictions of how this race is going to be going and whatnot, and tyre situation, or I could be correct, and then the driver's going to have to correct me post-race, and that would be fantastic. But no matter what, it's career done for me after this one. My voice is gone. Yeah, I do apologize. That's why I've not been sleeping at, because I've been trying to avoid that. And yeah, now my voice is dead. Steve-O. Right on the back now of Griffin, though. They head out of the exit and then now onto the straight. Steve-O really needs to get a shuffle on here. Griffin just getting further and further and further away from Matty. While Steve-O's trying to put the pressure on. The problem is, though, he's got to overtake his fellow Bentley in a non-compromising way. If he overtakes very aggressively, he's just going to go side by side, lose a bunch of time to Matty. Even if he does get past and hold the place, he's going to not be close enough to get back to Matty. So it's going to be a big strategic game here. I think when it comes down to it is, meanwhile in the background, that was MJ side by side with Speed Racer, but I think they've swapped back to a file now. Because look at the size difference. Look at that. That Lambo just getting eaten alive in the camera shot by the Mustang and the BM. Oh, that's wide. That's off into the gravel there for Lee Perkins. As meanwhile, Peter Nick trying to put some pressure on. Go on board with the Mercedes-AMG GT3 2020. Peter Nick wrangling that thing around the circuit at the moment. As the two Lexus are about to have a battle as well. It's Foggy and Parker will stay on this onboard view. They head through now. You can see Lexus Civil War right in front of your eyes. Now he gets a good run. Here comes Nick. He's looking for it. Oh, he shows the nose down the inside, but making his presence known. And now through the double right, a bit more of a compromise line, but then he opens that one up absolutely beautifully. Spot on there for me to Nick, and there's a slingshot in the cockpit of the Mercedes, but the Lexus straight line speed doing wonders even against the Mercedes as they head into the hairpin. Now he's forced a long way around. Good defense there from Poggy. Hold on to that one without losing too much time, but Nick's not done with that one yet. He gets a good exit. He gets a good slingshot. Now he's on the outside for the hairpin. This forces Hoggy defensive. Here we go. Peter Nick trying to hold on. As they head out now onto the straight. It's very wide. That's gravel caught there on the outside from Eda Nick. Now he's trying to put the pressure on. Trying to put the pressure down. And he's now down the inside of the kink. Speed Racer looking for it. Now around the outside holds on. And, actually, no. That's an overtake there from Speed Racer. Fantastic stuff from him there to capitalise on a mistake with the gravel. And now it's going to be a game of recovery there for Peter Nick. Meanwhile, two Lexus are now going to be going at it. Longy as well, only 4 tenths behind Stephen Reese. He's fallen off the back of Griffin. I don't think we're going to see a winner other than Matty here tonight. There is now under 18 minutes to go. There's 16 and a half minutes just over left here in race number 3. So it's all now going to be eyes to Matty. Can she complete the Grand Slam? Is going to be the interesting one. The Civil War continues. Again, sorry if my voice is just getting quieter and quieter and quieter. I can't go any louder with the state of my voice. But now Racer trying the outside, but then that's a great exit off the corner from Hoggy. They're now drag racing. The two Lexuses going at it here with 15 minutes to go in race 3. As Hoggy looking up the inside. He gets forced to the inside, but still holding on is Parker. Hoggy trying to get it done. That's wide from his Lexus compatriot. Now it's all about the rejoin there for Parker. He rejoins side by side with Speed Racer. They're going wheel to wheel into the penultimate corner. He loses out to the Ford Mustang. So great stuff there from Racer and Hoggy to get that one done, capitalising on the mistake made by James Parker. Now he's under pressure from Eda Nick as they head towards turn 1. Nick on the outside, Parker on the inside, should be able to hold on. He's inching forward and inching ahead here, but the Mercedes isn't done yet. Neither is MJ and the Lamborghini in the background, as well as Old Man Racer is side by side with Lee Perkins there. The BMW now backing out of it, but he's absolutely right there. Is Old Man Racer. He's doing very, very well for himself at the moment as the Lexus of Parker's under all sorts of pressure here from all the cars behind him. This is a big train at the moment. And now here comes the Ferrari on the outside. Can't get alongside though. Old man just being patient when it comes to being against MJ, as we'll now go onto into the cockpit of the Lamborghini as he continues on in this train, battling away with it out of the corner, now onto the straight. This is where the Lambo loses out supremely in the straight line speed. It's just not the match to a Merc or a Lex as some of the quickest cars in a straight line that ACC has to offer. And well, in the GC3 class, the Lambo, the complete opposite, is absolutely the slowest alongside the Audi. And he's having to battle with that diva, with that issue that's causing him so much grief when it comes to trying to overtake and stay ahead of other cars as they head into the final corner. 13.5 minutes to go here in race 3. The Lamborghini of MJ so close to trying to make an overtake. Goes right, goes back left, goes the dummy. Nick fell for it very briefly there. He darted right, stopped and then darted back in towards the apex again. Now MJ really close behind the Mercedes AMG. Surely that's within gun distance. No, Nick trying to go for it on Parker at the moment. And it's still not working for him. So we're going to do one of the onboard laps at the halfway point. So what we're going to do is we're going to go onboard here with Nick as he tries to chase down the Lexus in front of him. So at this hairpin next month I will be back. I do apologize, but now enjoy the V8 Mercedes. Everybody for the racing action. So that is an onboard lap with Nick in this train, and this is absolutely cracking stuff at the moment. And Nick still just sitting in P8, trying to hunt for P7, but also has to be vigilant of the cars behind him as well, of MJ. Nick at the moment, actually that was a swap between himself and Parker. Now Parker's under pressure from MJ at the moment. MJ not wide, oh he's wide there. That is very wide now. Here comes Old Man Racer. And he's around the outside for the next corner. He'll be forced, so that beautiful livery on that Ferrari, trying it a long way around. Here's another battle to consider looking at as well. Longy versus Steve-O. They're closer than ever at the moment, and trying to go for it. And 10 minutes just under to go here in GT Challenge round number 3. Longy really putting the pressure on Steve-O, probably not having the night he expected. He went into race 2 and went into the chat and he's gone, I'm having this one. And it's not come to fruition for him. He didn't get it in race 2, and he had a look at it in race 3 on lap 1, and then ended up getting swamped instead. So it's really not coming to fruition for him here in the Bentley Continental, and now in fact he's under threat for his podium place. The only thing really keeping him there at the moment is actually the straight line speed that Bentley has underneath it, and the Ferrari being a lot quicker, a lot smoother behind the wheel at the moment. Longy looking very cool, calm, collected, and otherwise, with 8 minutes to go, so about a minute and a half lap, so about 5 or 6 laps left in this race. There's still a lot to be played for here, especially this final podium place. And Longy still right there behind Steve-O, who just can't seem to shake him. Is really not Steve-O like MJ though. This battle back here that we were looking at a moment ago, still very much on, but now instead of E to Nick, who's absolutely bolted away, it's Parker that's leading this little three-way fight here with 7.5 to go. Speed Racer as well is in his own battle here with Foggy, so it's Mustang versus Lexus here in Misano for P5 in this race. A fairly solid finishing position at the end of the night. As Racer still just putting the pressure on. You can see that battle in the background heating up as well. And there's another one in the background there as well. That was Lee Perkins fighting with Toba Sire. This little battle looking like could be interesting. The BMW fairly strong in a straight line, but it's not a Nissan. A lot stronger in the corners, but also, I don't know, I could be wrong. It looks like there's some damage on the front of that BMW M4, so that could be playing into the hands now of Toba Sire, who actually, as much as he's further down the field, I feel like the way he's carrying speed this is actually really impressive. He's driving very, very well for himself here tonight, and it's really good to have all the liveries. I'm an Arsenal fan, by the way, so I come second place. But yeah, really good stuff from everybody who plays up on the field. Lee went from my favourite livery group, this TV livery, to my least favourite livery group. Not because it doesn't look okay, but Man City, I can't say it. That's enough. 5 minutes to go here in this 25-minute race number 3, and Maddie, let's just quickly, I know there's battles going on, let's flick up to her. What a drive this is, what a night this is for her. This is going to be the Grand Slam. Pole in all 3 races. Led every lap of all 3 races, as long as she brings this one home. And she'll take home all 3 race victories as well. So that would be absolutely fantastic when the night is done. And she deserves to get a lot of credit for her efforts here tonight. As oh no, the dog has returned as well. Hold you for the next 4 minutes because I can't look at you and look at the screen. Maddie doing a stellar job at the moment though. Yeah, really impressive stuff from her. But now back to Hoggy and Speed Racer. They're giving it their best go at the moment. Lexus versus Ford Mustang. And these two, the Titanic in it. Oh, Titanics, they would sing. Titans in a straight line. Oh, come on. You can't say that. Anyway, the 2 Titans in a straight line. Battling it out at the moment. Mustang versus Lexus. Japan versus America. Where have I seen that before, ladies and gentlemen? You might need to remind me in the good old YouTube chat. And, yeah, Racer, he got a podium in race 2, and now he's racing away here in race 3, trying to get a top 5. Maddie currently holds the fast lap with a 1:33.330. So that is the quickest lap by not too much actually. There's a lot of drivers within a tenth of her fastest lap, but she's just got the raw consistency in this one to just pull away constantly. Dog is trying to my microphone. Wherever I put her, I'm holding her, and she's trying to eat something. But yeah, Foggy really is gonna have to keep his head down here with 2.5 minutes to go. Should be 2 laps to go here in race 3, and he's definitely not got an easy task ahead of him here. It's a hold on from the flying Ford Mustang. As well, that's a nose up the inside there and a cut across from Hoggy, just darting towards the apex as soon as possible. And they have some blue flags in front of them. Very, very deep in there. And now here comes Ada Nick. I didn't even see him creeping up in the background. Now he's putting the pressure on to Speed Racer. So it's Mercedes versus Mustang versus Lexus. The 3 quickest cars in a straight line ACC has to offer here. All in the one place with a minute to go. Where is Maddie in the lap? Okay, so this is the penultimate lap of the race. I don't think there's more than a minute to go in her lap. She's already 40 seconds in. This is going to be really close. It's going to be probably 3 seconds from either being the fastest, from being the last lap or not the last lap. It's going to be really close. So we'll stay with her actually, while we wait to see if next lap will be the last lap of the race, and or if this one is the last lap. 30 seconds to go. No, she should make it just. It's so close. I kid you not. I have the timing up on the right-hand side of my screen. But yeah, Maddie's driven a fantastic race all night long here in Fargone Racing GT Challenge. She won race 1 with a pole in race 1 as well. She got a pole in qualifying 2 and 1 in race 2. She got a pole in race 3, and now she's going to come home and take a win in race 3 to continue and win the Grand Slam here in round number 3. Griffin gets P2, finally gets a podium here tonight. Reese holds on from Longy to get P3, who gets P4. Hoggy, this battle still going on. It's not over yet as they head in towards the final corner. Now Hoggy should just hold on for P5. Racer should just hold on for P6. And then Eda Nick should come home for P7. Those three had a titanic battle, as Parker will come home inside or in P8. Then MJ will come home in 9th from Racer or Old Man Racer in 10th. Then Boost in 11th. Lee Perkins in 12th. Toba Sire in 13th. Pete Bradley in 13th. 14th. Broads in 15th. Grundor will come home in 16th position. Dave Ross will come home in 17th position. And then Jason Lee will round out your order for race 3 in this one, as that is going to be a wrap here. Fargone Racing GT Challenge, round number 3. Sorry to end the broadcast so abruptly, but my voice is gone, lads. I do apologise, and next week it'll be back up on Simsational. I'll hopefully be healthy, and to bring you top tier racing action. And next round will be at the one, the only. I'm gonna drag out my lifeline. Imola. And it'll be a sprint. Anyway, so that is going to be all Fargone Racing GT Challenge here tonight. Thank you for watching, everybody.